There's a number that I would like to see there, and that number would ideally be 0. And there's some of you watching right now who could help make that dream a reality for me. I dreamed a dream of codes gone by. Mikex versus NuckleDu. NuckleDu on the Guile. Old military versus new military.
Old school versus new school. So this is a matchup I feel like we saw a lot of early on, and obviously statistically it still happens a lot, but I feel like I haven't seen NuckleDu, at least in our tournament,
He's not always available on Thursdays. Sometimes he ends up pulling double duty with other stuff that's going on. I mean, he's a family man, right?
Yeah.
He's got other responsibilities.
I feel like our tournament's also fairly Luke-less, generally. I did the Spaceboy episode, and he was like the only Luke in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? I think a lot of the best Luke players are, I think, a little bit more mobile, or, you know, like even operating on another time zone. You know, not all of them are Eastern time. He's not as huge an East Coast character.
Yeah. The Western Lukes is what you're saying?
Perhaps, or Midwest. Like, you know, there's different flavors of it. NuckleDu cashes out into the level 3, wants to ensure that they have that drive gauge advantage as a result of that, which they now have. This is a solid spot. Also, I think for Guile, you know, just resetting the screen position is already good enough on the back foot. That's a little bit scary if he ever goes for that flash knuckle trap.
Oh no, you're in burnout, but Guile does so well in this position, and we know Dude has reactions. You're dead. Dude does have reactions, but it doesn't matter when you're dead.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Dude committed the bar to that round that he had, but hey, you get the bar back critically from Mike, though, only having to spend that 1 bar to close that round out. Okay, the step forward when recognizing, hey, Mike is jumping at a range to get jumping fierce. I'm gonna walk under and make him whip.
Oh my God.
Last second counter DI?
The very last frame.
No, what a drop!
Very uncharacteristic of NuckleDu. We don't typically see that a lot from him. Definitely don't see that a lot from him. He's much more patient in these defensive situations, but maybe feeling a little froggy, just letting it rip right here.
I don't know if I've never heard you say that before, or if I've never fully comprehended it before just now.
I might not have said it before.
Oh, damn, jump in. Both of those rounds for Mike were decided by an important jump in over an OD boom. NuckleDu gonna have to take an extra little bit of deliberation and caution in how he's choosing to play his zoning game here.
And be less trigger happy on the defense, right? Typically we see him very stalwart, just blocking it out, trusting in his down back, but there's another one just for believing in the heart of the cards. He just lets the OD flash kick rock, punished for it. Now he's super on the back foot.
Yeah, but I mean, you have the drive gauge advantage, but I mean, Mike is just controlling space with Luke's tools decently effectively. Counter DI coming up, but he doesn't have the life for it. It's so important, and it's happening more and more now that when you see your opponent isn't in burnout and they have little enough life that they can't survive the DI trade, force the issue. Because we've all spent this entire game so far training that muscle memory. I see DI, I DI.
Yeah. I mean, there's even a whole business dedicated to 3D printing out handles for you guys to hit that break harder. But it's also just pretty flashy colors. You want to do something.
Flashy colors are nice. Everybody has a different graffiti splash. You know, great quality of life. NuckleDu on the back foot, despite, once again, Mike having himself in burnout, but so scary having the level 3 in the back. Every little stutter step forward is a little bit of churn.
Yeah, I mean,
dead.
You are dead, first of all, but Mike has played burnout so effectively, right? Like, he's getting to points where he actually has such a life lead that the burnout effectively doesn't matter, right? Because you're only going to eat so much chip in these scenarios, whereas obviously when you're behind a Guile and put yourself in burnout, that level 2 is actually terrifying. Du had the opportunity that time, and Mike's just walking at him like, I really don't care. You can't chip me out from half health.
right. Firing the crouching fears. Du is in that magic pocket that he wants to be in. And I've talked about this a bunch. I feel like Du still plays a very Street Fighter 4 flavored Guile in this title. Like in 5, he was very much still an aggressor. He played the 5 system really well. I think Du still tends towards that, like, I'm going to stand here and blow you up 4 years. The problem with limbs like that, jumping fears. It's so annoying to try to deal with air-to-air. Mike has very little life left. The trades, even the fact that a lot of these anti-air interactions are happening as trades rather than clean beats are a little bit difficult for Guile, because when you play this style, your life is your only resource.
Yeah. And when it's over, you get a whole nother round there. It's not like those Injustice games where you start a round with Lots of parrying coming in here. Very late DP there, but it puts Du back in the corner.
Oh, that was supposed to be a cross-cut, but for whatever reason, maybe hit the button too late or something, only got the fireball. Level 3 coming out. That is going to put Mike into burnout.
Wake up level 3?
Not wake up. I don't think you have to wake up. You can block a couple of these booms, but like the risk is Du cannot throw a boom in a range where level 3 will go through it.
Or just
That's too far away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to let it rock, but that was the thing. Every single spot there for Du was the calculation of like, am I close enough that level 3 through it is going to happen? And do I see him in a spot where he could be churning it?
And then once it does come out, just a nice handy block. But Du finally getting a game on the board here. Who did Du play first round here? Du went up against Zach Boz and 3-0'd him, whereas we did get to see the Mikex complex match on stream here.
And I think Mike is playing this, you know, similarly, right? The drive gauge is a resource that he's willing to use liberally to cash out all this damage and try to make something happen.
He's using that block a lot, too, just to keep the tempo going, keep those jabs flowing.
Yeah, I mean, he's a brawler, right? Luke is a brawler. You want to get in that range 0 and try to make some stuff happen. Crouching strong, DR. Oh, it connected. I get a shitload of damage. Oh, it didn't eat the strike throw in your face.
I'm still going to punch you. Hit or block, you're getting punched. But that trade working much more in favor of Mike, and now set point again on the board here. And again, those critical jump-ins, time and again, it's just Luke's air limbs are so long.
Yeah, that's a real shame, though, on the dropped charged Knuckle there for Mike trying to make something happen. We had the down charge there for NuckleDu, but the going behind the fireball, checking it, that's happening so much more often now that people are checking if Guile tries to DR behind a fireball in a spot where you can answer him.
Yeah, I mean, it's very tricky, but it does work out. He gains so much space because of it. But if he gets caught out doing it, he's kind of boned. So now...
Jump in. Oh, wanted to get over the fireball, but the speed was a little bit slower than he had wanted it to be.
This is actually a really tough spot for Du, because that's very similar to what we saw earlier. And he's going to try to force the burnout here with that level 2, but parries are too much. He just fed him all that gauge back.
Oh my god, overhead. One mix-up is all it's going to take here for Mike. Puts himself in burnout. Level 2 off the board. Jump in fierce. You gotta be kidding me.
Again, very uncharacteristic from Du there, not being ready for that jump in. And that's going to be 3-1 in favor of Mikex to move on to our winners finals as well.
I mean, you say uncharacteristic, but that jump in looked a little wonky. Like, I was ready for that to be, that was exactly the type of jump in where it's like, oh, it's gonna be a cross up or like an empty jump or something. That jump fierce came so late and so deep to stay same side and smoke him for it. So just like that, yeah, Mike gets to move on. We are waiting to queue up our next match, but while we were doing that, I'm sure Doc will, in a moment, once we're done communicating with our